Hey everybody, Eric here. For those that watch the videos, you'll notice that I'm always firing an M&P 2.0, 9mm and a 4 1/4 inch barrel. Well, I want to mount an optic. So my options were get my slide milled on so I can mount one, or buy a different pistol, right? So who doesn't want another gun? So I went with the Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0 C.O.R.E, the Performance Center edition with the 5-inch barrel. Looking forward to it. So we'll do an unboxing, and then we'll fire some rounds through it, kind of give you my initial impression, put some more rounds through it, and kind of tell you what I think. Stay tuned. Alright everyone, here's the box. No one really cares too much about the box, right? Let's see what's inside. So we have our instructions. I'm actually a fan of reading some of the things that's going to matter. It should talk about what plates go to what. Also should talk about how to remove your back strap, put a new back strap in. We can talk about that if you guys aren't familiar. I'm sure most of you already are. We have a sweet cleaning kit here since it's a Performance Center edition. Check that out. Personally, I have enough cleaning stuff on my wall. I don't really need this, but I know some people are into it, and it's nice. I mean, if you want to keep it with you on the range, if you got to clean it for whatever reason. Like I said, I just come back to my house. You notice behind me, my wall's full of cleaning supplies and gunsmithing stuff. You've got your pistol. You know what we're all here for, right? So again, it's an M&P 2.0. It's the C.O.R.E. So it's got an optic ready, so you can mount it, right? Remove that, put what plate you want on, and then your optic. Frankly, I didn't really care about whether it was ported or not, but I really couldn't find a C.O.R.E. that wasn't a Performance Center. So, and all the Performance Centers seemed like they had ports. So I got a ported one. But yeah, I love 2.0s. I love the grip. The triggers are a lot better. My original 2.0 that I used, I love. Everyone bitches about the triggers. I like that one. We'll see if I like this guy, if I want to change it out. I'm looking forward to a little bit longer of a pistol, or a barrel I should say. See if that kind of helps a little bit with recoil management. Not that a 9mm really recoils that hard. But yeah. So down here we have another mag. It's kind of nice. We got two 17-round magazines with all my. So with your back straps, it's going to come with 4. It's going to be a small, a medium, large, which is what I have installed on my gun, and a large. You guys probably can't see in there, but it says right inside your back straps what size they are. Personally, my gun goes in my gun safe, but they do come with a gun lock here. Should always secure your guns one way or another. Let's not be negligent gun owners. So this is a trigger over travel adjustment kit. So while we're on it, we can talk about it. To remove your back strap, right, you pop this guy. Hopefully you can see that. You pull it out, right, and then you pull up on the bottom. This guy comes off, and now you could change your back strap. But also, without reading the manual, but I'm pretty sure this is how they want you to do it, you would take this guy and you would drop her in there, and I've already got it, I can already feel it, and you would adjust that to further out or further back. The whole point is your over travel. Let's put the back strap back on there really quick. The over travel adjustment is this little guy right there, and the whole point that it's going to do is when you pull and the trigger breaks and goes, that piece of I'm guessing metal is going to stop right after the Sear. It lets go the Sear, so just less travel in your trigger, so you can get back to your wall again and shoot your follow-up round faster. put this back in. And last but not least, the whole point of why I bought this. So these are your screw and plate kit. So we'll have to read through the manual and figure out which one. So I have a Leupold Delta Point Pro on order. On the back of here, it talks about your mounting your optic, the instructions, and most importantly, if you ask me, the chart. So you've got your chart right here that tells you what plate to use, right? And it tells you what optic. So for me, run a Delta Point Pro down here. So I would run a plate 6 with the E screws is what I would do. And then we'll remove these guys. We'll mount the plate and we'll mount the optic with the appropriate screws and we'll be good to go. So yeah, that's what is in the box. That's exciting, right? I'm looking forward to shooting it. We'll get to the range here soon and show you guys. I'll also get a trigger pull gauge hooked up and we can see what it breaks and if it breaks consistently. I know a lot of guys put, I believe it's Apex triggers in these. And who knows, I might, but I'm going to run it stock for a minute and see how it is. Another big point that I didn't mention earlier is, so the nice thing with these guys is they've got suppressor sights on them, right? And the point of that is, so it should sit high enough so I got co-witness sights through my optic, which when I get it mounted, I'll show you guys and we can see if we can still see through. Some optics are taller than others, so it might or it might not go. I don't know yet. We'll find out. So size comparison. Here is my new core, and here is my 2.0 4¼ inch barrel. So you can kind of see size-wise, obviously, going to be 0.75 inches larger, right? But just kind of as a reference, a visual reference. Otherwise, the grip, all same size and thing. The frame, if you look, let me pull my light off. The frame is going to be looks like to be the same frame pretty much, minus that over travel adjustment, but it's same size. Really, it's just the slide that's going to be larger. So if you're used to running this guy, right here, right side up, you used to running this guy, I'm sure this is going to be just the same, really, just a couple more cool features. So we just finished our couple mags, right? My first mag impression. Really surprised with the porting. I think that and the combination of the 5-inch barrel. I know 9mm don't recoil that much anyways, but I felt like there was pretty significant recoil reduction in shooting. I really enjoyed that. I was curious, so I'd never shot a ported pistol before, really ported handgun, but I never shot one before. I was curious what negative effect you have in low light shooting. Like, is there a big fireball that comes out the top? Didn't know. So the range I was at, was lucky enough to be the only one in there, so let me kill the lights. I did some low light shooting. I wished I would have gotten a better angle. I'm sorry I didn't for you guys, but there was no effect with my light on the target. I mean, there was maybe a little bit of a flash, but it was easy enough to still see the target all the way through the engagement, the follow through, and then the re-engagement. That I would say there was no negative effect from it. The sights, really enjoyed the sights, and there's things I don't like about them, and it's me being picky. But first off, the things I liked was I really enjoyed that the front sight is thinner. It allows me to see a little more of the target I'm trying to engage, and it also lets me see light left and right at the front sight. So when I'm lining up my sights, it's a little bit easier to be exact, I feel like. Easy to see, not bad at all. My complaint would be, I mean, we bought a performance edition, right? Pistol. I'd hope they come with night sights, but that's me being picky. I mean, really, I think anyone that buys this is probably going to mount an optic anyways, so I think it's a moot point. And with me, I've got a light mounted on the bottom of mine, which I think most people that are ever going to possibly use their firearm probably should have a light mounted. And with that light, you can still see your target or your sights well enough to engage. The trigger was just under 6 pounds. It was exactly 5 pounds 13 ounces using my Wheeler Engineering trigger pull gauge, and that was over a 10 pull average. I was a little disappointed with that, but the trigger broke pretty even. I would say on the pulls it was always within a half a pound of each other, so it was consistent. While shooting, I didn't notice any difference. It felt like it broke even every time. I like the over travel stop, that was nice. The good audible reset when you're doing trigger reset, like all the 2.0s have. Overall, good trigger. I'm going to shoot it for a little while before I go the whole apex route, if I do go that way, and we'll see. But I like it. The mags fall clean, no problems, right? I didn't have any issues with I loaded the 2 full mags, shot them. They ran flawlessly, which I would expect. Something else I really like is the slide lock. I think I'm pretty sure it's larger, it's more pronounced on the Performance Edition, to where I thought it was easier to get a hold of and manipulate. And I also thought it was pretty cool that they made it ambi, and they've got one on the other side of the pistol. All of you probably know that you can also swap your mag release around. All you got to do is get in there, pop the spring out off of it, and then switch it around and put the spring back in there. But I thought that was good. The grip is just like any other 2.0. I like them, really solid connection. I normally shoot gloves, so I really enjoy that. I ended up going with the medium on here because it's what I ran on my last one, bigger hands, and I enjoy that. So I'm going to put some more rounds through it. I don't think 2 magazines is enough to honestly give you an appropriate review. So I will end up mounting an optic that showed up yesterday on here, and then I'll probably shoot another 300-400 rounds through it, and then really tell you what I think. By that point, I will probably have a little more hardware on here as well we can talk about. I think it's going to be a good gun to run, and I really like the fact that I didn't have to send my other pistol in, get it milled out, wait for a while to mount an optic. This thing's ready to go. Speaking of mounting optics, one of my complaints was if you look in the manual, it tells you which plate to use and what screw to use, which is awesome. I appreciate directions. So there was no torque specs in here, none at all. So there's a number to call, so I called. Super nice, great customer service. Never had a problem with Smith & Wesson. They don't have them. There's no torque specs for them. They said they just go until they think it's tight. When I open up my Leupold optics case, I'm hoping that they might have some torque specs that they suggest, and I'll probably just run with those or something close. Other than that, the directions are really good on what to do and how to do it. Alright, so put it right around 500 rounds through it. Gotta say, I absolutely love it. Things I ended up changing, I put a Magwell from Talan Tactical. I also put I added mag extensions to a few of my mags so I can fit 21 rounds. I put a Apex flat trigger in there. My trigger weighted right around 6 pounds, if I remember right, stock. And the hinge trigger is not bad. I don't think it's horrible. But there's just so much travel to the wall, and then once you get past the wall, the stop would help, but I wasn't feeling it, so I switched it out. So now there's next to no travel to get to the wall, and then less than I used when I had to stop. So I love it. I put pretty much every factory spring back in it though with the flat trigger. It's the second from the heaviest. There's a chart when you look at these things and install them. I wanted it back at like 5 pounds or so, and I think I'm just a touch under 5. At its second to lightest, I was like 3.5 pounds, which was just too light for playing around with your gun, in my opinion. I have a Leupold Delta Point Pro for an optic on it. I enjoy that. The dots kind of bugs me a little bit. It's not perfectly round. That's a little picky thing on my end, but it does good. It's easy to hit with. I enjoy it. As for the gun, I mentioned it earlier, but the serrations and the slides, that's just pointless. If you're going to put them there, make them larger. If not, just don't even do it. This left-sided slide stop I thought that was a cool concept. It's stupid. Why I say it is, I have not met anyone that can get this to release without like getting a hold of it and really going, which is not practical when you're shooting on your left side. So I think that they should have just had the slide stop on this way. It's just the physics of where it locks in makes it so hard to manipulate. I don't see the point. One of my lefty buddies shot it, and the first time ever he overrode the slide lock because he wasn't used to ever having a slide lock on this side either. So I thought that was kind of useless. Otherwise, it runs good. I do a lot of my own reloading, and I get more light strikes now than I ever have before. So I have an M&P 2.0, the original, as I showed you guys earlier in the video. I've never gotten a light strike with my reloaded ammunition. With this one, I say I'm probably 1 out of 50 it light strikes on me. I bet you they've just got the springs tuned so they hit just a little bit lighter. If I drop the rounds back in, they'll go the second time. But that just bugged me a little bit. Yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. Runs good. The trigger's not bad stock, but I enjoy the flatty in there a lot more. I love the stifling, which is all the 2.0s. The ported barrel, I feel like does help with recoil reduction. I thought that was pretty awesome. Just a good gun. I really like the 5-inch. Just a little more control with it. Yeah, if you're looking at buying one, I'd highly suggest it. Odds are, depending on what you're doing, you're probably going to swap the trigger. It seems like about everybody does that. Although I don't think hinge triggers are horrible, and I still have the hinge trigger on my original 2.0. There's so many different optics. I say do your research. Just know that if you get a Leupold Delta Point Pro, you're going to lose the ability to use your co-witness sights. If you notice, I don't know if I've got my angle good enough, but they're too low, and the sight's too high, so you're just gonna have the dot. For me, I just run this playing around and shoot matches, so I don't care. It's not a big deal. Like my optic goes dead, I'm still good. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you got any questions about anything specifically, please comment below, and I'll do my best to answer them. And have a great day.